And welcome into the Varsity Voices podcast presented by C Spire, where we're breaking down playoffs. Thanks for tuning in, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe on whichever platform you choose, or do it on all three. That would be nice, too. Breck Riley with you here, along with the crew, Jared Schatz, Brandon Davis, and Jake Wimberly. We'll want to remind you that this segment is built by Cherokee Brick, America's most trusted brick supplier. And guys, now we're taking a look at 1A. This is going to be a second round of the 1A playoffs. And as always, we'll start in the North. Biggersville, one of the favorites in the North. They're going to be taking on West Lowndes. Then you're looking at Faulkner taking on Okolona, and then maybe the favorite in the North, Calhoun City, facing off against Tupelo Christian, and then you have LaFleur County facing off against Byers. Jared Schatz, 1A North, what do you like?
Well, Calhoun City is the one that you got to keep an eye on. As far as some of these other ones, poor Okolona. Faulkner is that's going to be a problem for Okolona in that ball game. The more this shapes up, I really like Biggersville. I just really like the Lions. I know that they've kind of, they were, we were hot on them for a while, then we weren't, but I really like Biggersville in 1A North. They make a lot of sense. A football team that's, obviously they've been there, they've done that, they're battle tested. That's the team that I've got my eye on. Watch Calhoun City. That could be a potential North State game, but those are the two I'm really keeping my eye on.
Yeah, Brandon Davis, what stands out to you?
Yeah, I think Jared hit it well. Biggersville and Calhoun City are really the cream of the crop of these two. I don't think they're going to have any issues working their sides of the bracket, and I expect both of them to be meeting up for North State.
Yeah, I think in this situation, this classification, the South is definitely going to be the more competitive of the two regions as far as who's coming out of what side. Yeah, North looks to be pretty cut and dry with Biggersville and Calhoun City, but we will jump to the South, and right away, one that jumps out to me is Nanawaya and Lumberton. That's going to be a great game. Then you look at Simmons taking on Stringer, Bogachita and Lake County. Then you got Taylorsville and South Delta. Brandon, Nanawaya, Lumberton. Well, that's going to be a war.
Yeah, and Lumberton being a part of the Salem issue that we had earlier in the week, and glad that the kids from Salem were able to play that game. I know it was unfortunate, and I know that nothing was meant for what happened with ineligible players. So I'm glad they were able to play that. They'll sort everything else out. But yeah, you talk about Nanawaya, Lumberton, that's going to be a tough game. And just the way that the North or the way the South is drawn out in 1A, you have teams like a team from Nanawaya. That's having to play a team for Lumberton, and like even Simmons having to play Stringer. That is just some crazy travel dates for some of these schools having to go that far. But when I look at the South, I tell you teams that I really like: Taylorsville against South Delta. That's going to be a tough game. Taylorsville is hot as anybody right now. We saw what South Delta did to Ethel last week. Really surprised me how they were able to handle Ethel, that being a South Delta team. So I like Taylorsville, but to me, Nanawaya is going to be an intriguing team, but I love Stringer. I just think that Stringer is really probably the team that's going to come out of the South. I know people are high on Simmons. That's going to be a crazy good game between Simmons and Stringer, and I think the winner of that probably wins the South State. But Stringer has got Jaheim Campbell, a back that plays him more like a fullback. He's a big-bodied kid. And then, but Dan Brady won a state title at Bay Springs. He knows how to coach. Jared and I had a chance to interview him, get to know him. He's just a great football coach. He coaches those kids hard. So that Simmons Stringer game is going to be one to watch this week for 1A.
Yeah, and Jarrett, besides Nanawaya, Lumberton, and Simmons and Stringer, what else do you like out of the South?
Yeah, Taylorsville, we talked about Hattiesburg being one of the hottest teams in the state of Mississippi. Man, how about Taylorsville? 7 straight wins after that 0-4 start. And, we talked about teams, can they wake up? Can they wake up? It's do or die. They have the talent. They had the expectations. They haven't lived up to it, for whatever reason. can Lumberton make it a game? We had huge expectations for Lumberton. They have not lived up to them, but they're sitting here in the playoffs. Everything's ahead of them. Can they give Nanawaya a game? I think they can. I don't know if they can win it, but I think they can. There's always one or two of these games that really will mess with you when you look at it late on a Friday night about, wow, how did that happen? Well, Lumberton, they have the animals up front. They can do it. And especially that offensive line, that's who we were really high on coming into the year. So we'll see how that plays out. Simmons Stringer is going to be a really good ball game. And you're right, Breck. It's all about 1A South. But Taylorsville is the team I don't want to play right now.
Yeah, I'm going to give you another one. Leake County. This is just because they're coming in at 6-5. They took Nanawaya to overtime when they played the open region play, and they had a really, really tough out-of-conference schedule. They played their county rivals, Leake Central, played Velma Jackson, they played Lake, played West Lowndes, and weren't able to win those. But then they have gone on a run. Didn't have any problems with Shaw last week, and you look at them matching up against the Bogue Chitto team. Bogue Chitto was lucky to get out of the first round. They had to go 2 overtimes with Bridgeton.
Bogue Chitto who?
Yeah. Oh, the Bobcats?
Bogue Chitto who?
Not the Monkeys.
Little BJ Smith hard, man.
I just know you like saying it. I like after Breck said he likes saying Bogue Chitto Bobcats. I started saying it. I'm like, this is awesome.
Bogue Chitto Bobcats.
Is it Holmes has a kid, old Easton Sarton, and he's a great player. But yeah, Bogue Chitto barely got past Richton, 40-32 in 2 overtime. So watch out, Leake County and Bogue Chitto. Maybe Bogue Chitto might be the favorite, but a little closer than the experts thinks. But speaking of the experts, let's bring in Jake Wimberly to talk about the numbers on 1A and kind of who it favors.
It's a field at the top where, you look at a team like Calhoun City, they're number 1. And again, this is the percentage of a chance to win the bracket as the bracket sits today. The numbers will shift again next week, and we cut from 16 down to 8 teams, and then from 8 to 4. Calhoun City with the top, 11.26%. Just look at them as a Vegas favorite of sorts. Simmons right behind them at 10.95, but then there's some of the teams you've been talking about. Biggersville, 10.92. Nanawaya, 8.64. Shout out Robbie Falk. South Delta, 7.76. Stringer, Bogue Chitto. And let's watch Taylorsville down there at 4.57% as if they continue to win, they'll move up that ladder. But, Calhoun City, Simmons, Biggersville, Nanawaya, South Delta, Stringer, those are your top teams right now. And Bogue Chitto, the Bobcats.
The Bogue Chitto Bobcats, just like we said, it just rolls off the tongue. It's just nice. Sounds good. I don't know what it would do when Easton Sarton doesn't play at Holmes anymore. Got to tell Marcus Wood, coach, to go get us another Bogue Chitto Bobcats so that we can brag about them on the Holmes Community College.
I've got a connection. I got a connection. I'll help you out.
Yeah, we'll send some film over to Coach Wood over at Holmes Community College. But that's a look at 1A. So that wraps up all of the playoffs. We went through 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A. We're in the second round, and then 7A, 5A, and 6A are all in the first round. Guys, I don't have this on our board right here, but I'm gonna throw something at you. I want to get your thoughts on the best game this week. It could be 1A, 2A, any classification. It could be first round, second round. What's your favorite ball game? What are we looking at? That we've talked about all week long. Any classification that it could be, and we'll go with Jared Schatz. You get to go first.
We've beaten this one to death, but I just think the best matchup in any classification is Grenada Ridgeland. Just because of the body of work of those two teams. You've got the defending 6A champs in Grenada. You've got a Ridgeland team that's only lost one game this year, running the wing tee. I just think that's the best game. If we're talking sneaky game, I think it's the one that Mr. Wimberly is going to be calling. I think Brandon and Ocean Springs could be a terrific ball game, and I wouldn't be surprised however it shakes out.
All right, Brandon Davis, your pick for the best game, or maybe the one you're just most excited. It doesn't have to be you think it's going to be the best, but maybe the one you're most excited about.
Well, shots called it. It's Ridgeland Grenada. I just think that's the game of the week, but not picking that one. I'm very interested to see Northwest Rankin and Gulfport. I think that just based off the style of football that Northwest Rankin plays, and then Gulfport, are we finally going to see a coast team step up and do what they can do? In the playoffs, you've got to win it. You can have the resume, you can have the look, but you've got to go out there and do what you've got to do. But also, I tell you, when we, in 1A, Simmons and Stringer. I like Stringer a lot. Simmons is obviously, based off what Jake is showing out of his model, one of the top teams, but that's going to be an intriguing ball game as well.
All right, Jake Wimberly, what game are you most excited about? Maybe not necessarily, we know we're excited about Brandon and Ocean Springs, but maybe one that you're not involved with.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to go with Northwest Rankin, Gulfport in 7A. I really like the Cougars' opportunities here. I think it's going to be a fun ball game. Hey, let's go back to Terry and Pascagoula as well. As Terry goes into this game at 8-2, Pascagoula 5-5, and let's see what happens in this one. Love Chris Thigpen. We'll see if he can continue to have the Terry Bulldogs march. But I really like this Terry Pascagoula game, and give me Northwest Rankin and Gulfport.
Okay. Jared Schatz, you had something else?
Yeah, guys, we've kind of hit on this in a previous episode earlier this week, but you can really see, it reminds me a lot of the SEC fans, right? There's so much hatred during the conference year between every school, every week, who you name it, whoever. You've usually got, 2 or 3, 4 rivals, some schools. But end of the day, a lot of teams will go for the other school. Most people, not everybody, in the bowl games. I feel like that's what we're in this week, especially when you look at the Coast playing District 3. They're trying to hand the banner off, basically go for their brother down the street that they've hated on all year, whether it's Gulfport, Ocean Springs. Look at District 1. We gave you the numbers earlier this week on, District 2 has dominated them in the playoffs the last couple of years, going 7-1. But you're seeing that, and these, look, you don't ever get Northwest Rankin and Brandon going for each other. That doesn't happen. But I think this week you do look at it and say, yeah, kind of rooting for District 3 here if you're in District 3, or the Coast rooting for obviously their brothers down there. So I just think it's fascinating. It's very similar, just like it is in college football.
And as far as my game that I'm excited about, I like Baldwin and Northside. I really think that's going to be just a banger of a ball game. And Northside's got some athletes. Of course, Baldwin, the defending 1A champ, but they're going to come up in 2A and do that one. So I think that's probably the one I'm most excited about, with probably Senatobia and Corinth being a close second. I think that game is going to be a barn burner. That's on the other side of my bracket with Kosciuszko, so I'll definitely be paying attention to that one. Well, hey, did you know that C Spire doesn't wait on the future? They build it. Find out how they're harnessing the power of advanced technology to transform how you live and work. Visit cspire.com today. C Spire, customer inspired. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little Mr. Football. Back after this on the Varsity Voices podcast presented by C Spire.
At Fowler GMC, our customers have been our priority for over 70 years. That same dedication happens today as we offer a wide range of options to cater to every taste and budget. Whether you're looking for a luxurious and versatile SUV or a powerful truck, we have it all. Our knowledgeable team is here to assist you every step of the way, and we are committed to providing fast and courteous service. Visit us today and experience the difference for yourself. Trust, service, and selection. Fowler GMC.
3rd and 6 from the 40-yard line.
Sure, you ready for this?
He takes a snap, drops back.
What's the right situation for a flea flicker?
They should have been in nickel defense.
There's a nickel and a dime.
Now for a proper bull rush start and 3-point stance.
What a disastrous play call.
Ready or not, here we go.
Hey, Dad.
You can call me Coach.
It's amazing what C Spire's nationwide 5G network can connect. C Spire, inspired by you.
Elegance is in the details. Pine Straw America's premium longleaf pine straw subscription ensures your landscape stays pristine season after season. Precision edging, flawless installation, because your home deserves nothing less. Pine Straw America.
Welcome back into the Varsity Voices podcast presented by C Spire. We've wrapped up our discussion on playoffs and all the games this week, but now we want to recognize the award winners who were announced earlier. I guess it was last week, the Mr. Football Awards from the MHSAA and the Mississippi Association of Coaches. We'll list them off and then we'll go around the horn and kind of talk about everyone's thoughts on it. But at Tupelo, no shock here. The running back there, J.J. Hill, I guess he played quarterback for most of the year as well. Mitchell Smith from Picayune in 6A and 5A. No surprise here. West Point's Jordan Rush. Once again, another no surprise, Poplarville with Ty Keys in 4A. Raleigh's Jamarian Owens in 3A. Chase Craft at Heidelberg in 2A. And in 1A, it was Zay Mays and Biggersville. We'll go to Jake Wimberly first because, Jake, you do a lot with the Mr. Football Awards and the banquets and all that. Get your thoughts on this process. And for anyone that maybe doesn't understand how all this works, you could kind of explain it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so first off, when you look at this, and Johnny Mims will tell you this, this is not just one or two guys sitting in a room that, picks this. I mean, this is a process that starts really, really early during the season. Several writers across the state, several coaches are polled across the state. That, obviously some recruiting is looked at it as well, but this is a very extensive process. And the MHSAA and the MAC take this very seriously with their awards. They're unbelievable award, the award system that the MHSAA is put together with Mr. Football, Basketball, Miss Basketball, softball, baseball. The entire awards process is really, really cool the way they do it. And, you could probably argue for a player or two, but you take, for instance, J.J. Hill, at Tupelo. I've seen some stuff out there saying, well, hey, maybe he wasn't the best back on his team this year. But, look at what they've asked J.J. Hill to do for most of the year, to play quarterback until a guy got back. Look, he's committed to Mississippi State. I know Mississippi State's hoping they can hold on to him. Excellent player there at 7A, looking for a repeat there. You look at all of these guys. Ty Keys at Poplarville. If you had an overall winner, you could from 1 through 7A say something about him. But this list is full of great football players. Some of them we'll see in Starkville here in a few weeks for the state championship, and I think they just do a great job with it. And it's a very extensive process to come down to the final guys here.
And they'll do an awards luncheon, and they usually have a live stream of that. You can get it out and watch it, and that's on, I believe this year it's on Wednesday, November 19th. And so that's, coming up very, very soon where these guys will get their awards. Jared Schatz, what sticks out to you about the names there and just about the whole process of Mr. Football?
Yeah, no, it's tremendous to crown, the guy in each classification. And let's go to the lower classifications. We can go down to 1A. And Zay Mays, man, for Biggersville, he has been outstanding. 31 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He's thrown for over 2,000 yards this year. Just the model of consistency. And we go from one quarterback and ran for over 1,000. I don't want to, cut him short. Mays also ran for over 1,000. So over 2,000 throwing, 1,000 rushing, awfully impressive. And Chase Craft, let's go to another quarterback at the 2A level at Heidelberg. Mr. Everything. He's led his team to 2 straight state championships appearances. He won 1 last year. That kid has had so much on his shoulders. I don't think it's just he's been great this year. Don't get me wrong, but it's almost a career thing with him because he is a guy that is. They really put this on him to take this team to the next level a couple of years ago, and I think he started as an 8th or 9th grader. He has just been the guy ever since. And he just continues to get better, and that's why schools are knocking on his door. But, from the 1A and 2A level, hats off to those young men. They have been tremendous quarterbacks.
Yeah, and honored for all these young men. Just congratulations to them. Congratulations to their family, loved ones that's helped them get to the point of where they're at. I'm sure they'll tell you that they got here. It wasn't just them that helped them get here. Their coaches and all, just big honors for their coaches as well and the program. I'm very proud of Mitchell Smith at Picayune. It's not often that you see an offensive lineman as being tabbed as Mr. Football in a certain classification. And I know there's going to be people across the state saying that, well, player X, player Y, whatever may should have been considered. And maybe they should have. But that's not really what this is about. If you take Mitchell Smith away from Picayune, they're not as good as a team. Nowhere near a team is what they are with him. He's a Vanderbilt commit, so not only is he an excellent football player, but he's also a student athlete. So he's going to be going off, getting him an education because, he's a smart young man. But, and then, you look at Jordan Rush and Tyler Keys, Jamarian Owens, these are players, and Jake said it well, Jaden Hill. These guys just make their team better. They're the MVPs of their team. There probably are other players that you could have looked at because there's so many across the state, but just congratulations to them. There's no need to try to debate this because these kids that are all listed are very, very deserving of these awards.
Yeah, and want to note that presented by C Spire, the C Spire Outstanding Player Award winners. And you bring up a good point, Brandon. We'll talk to Jake about this. It's kind of like the Heisman Trophy debate each year. Is it the best player on the best team, or is it the player who means the most to his team, or what is it like that? Because when you say like some other folks, maybe so and so has a little bit better numbers, and I was always as a kid, and still kind of confuses me when you get to like the awards and you get like the Maxwell Award, and that's like the best quarterback, but then that person loses to another quarterback for the Heisman. So it's just kind of weird how that happens sometimes. So Jake, get your thoughts on kind of what all, it's not necessarily always just going to be, the best numbers.
No, you're right. It's not just statistics. I mean, statistics, obviously, you got to have big numbers if you're going to be considered for this award. But I think it's what you do for your team relative to their situation. So, if you take J.J. Hill off of Tupelo, what does that mean for Tupelo? If you take Ty Keys off of Poplarville, are they even in the playoff discussion? So I think you have to look at things like that because you could get in a situation to where you have a quarterback wide receiver, and now we've really got a big, discussion, let's just say on a hypothetical where the quarterback has massive numbers, the wide receiver has massive numbers, and we've seen this in high school football here in the state before, and, one person gets the award, well, what about the other one? So it's the chicken and the egg. So I think it's what those numbers represent for those players relative to their team situation. And if you took them off that team, what would that team look like?
And all of these guys, as we said, very deserving. Run through them one more time. Jaden Hill at Tupelo, Mr. 7A, 6A, Mitchell Smith at Picayune. 5A is Jordan Rush at West Point. 4A is Poplarville's Ty Keys. 3A is Raleigh's Jamarian Owens. Chase Kraft and Heidelberg, Mr. 2A. And 1A is Zay Mays from Biggersville. So congratulations to all of those young men. And Wednesday, November 19th, that's when they will get their C Spire Outstanding Player Award trophy. So, yeah, congratulations to those guys. But that wraps up this episode of our show. And the next time you see us, we'll be making picks. And don't worry, we're going to get to the whiteboard. Trust me, we know that's what you're waiting on. We're going to get to it, and it's going to be, Brandon Davis has promised that we might not be friends after this, or whatever it is. So for Jared Schatz, Brandon Davis, Jake Wimberly, I'm Breck Riley signing off here on the Varsity Voices podcast presented by C Spire.